Continuing right along from part 2 there.
Okay, because we don't know. You assert that it was fine-tuned so that we could exist, or so that life itself could exist, which is essentially you can't prove that. You only base that in the fact that we don't know of any other way.
So the problem I'm facing here, and I don't even realize it, is that any other life would be based on anthropic principles as well, regardless of whether we know it or not. First off, you wouldn't fucking know the math that those anthropic principles are based on. This is all based on an argument from ignorance. We don't know exactly how that could have come about, why the probability of beforehand of it happening again, what that would happen. Doesn't matter. It did happen. Now, do we exactly know? No, but taking these arguments and these little monikers here and there, taking them and trying to put them into science is not going to get us anywhere. It never has. Only when we've strayed away from the supernatural, strayed away from the whole God done it sort of attitude, have we really managed to grow. This is silly. This is just silly. So they say, so how is my argument refuting? It's not. Let's see. What the hell did I tell you about answering your own questions? Who does that? Who does that? That's so arrogant. And so you are the epitome of everything about humanity that I dislike. Ugh. Either way, the argument is only not refuting because you still believe that math and that things are done are solid and are applicable to everywhere. Not really. In fact, these supposed principles could have in fact be some sort of underlying law. No design, just underlying law, just like the changing of elements, but along with the laws of physics. Just something that's there. It's just there, not truly designed or anything like that. It's just there. But you're not open to that. It absolutely must be designed because apparently, according to you and how our brains work, you see a pattern of some sort. That's how your brains work. But now you're going to take it one step forward. Fuck this. This isn't just a pattern. It was done intentionally. So you create or you adopt a supernatural agency. I'm sorry, that's stupid. So some sort of imaginary force did everything, all that, with a wave of a hand or by way of doing whatever. No, I don't fucking get it. I don't know. I don't get this. I don't get it at all. I mean, and then another thing you're trying to assert is that the universe absolutely did have a beginning. Not really. It had a beginning in the force of saying for the universe as we know it. But as for all we know, there could have just been matter first, a phenomena we're not yet familiar with, though we're growing in our understanding. And then time came into being. Or there is no such thing as time, and that's just how we measure the change within events. I mean, that's still that's still an ongoing thing. I mean, in all practicality, yeah, we use it, time is there, whatever, right? But in all actuality, we don't exactly know if time is exactly what we're all conceptualizing. I mean, even from there, you would hear people say to things like the universe is about 13.5 or 13.7, something like that, years old. Well, this is from the perspective, and then say from the perspective of the Milky Way on the planet Earth. This is the best that we can date it, but it could have been different. You could have maybe had a more exact time, maybe from a different standpoint, or maybe it differs from galaxy to galaxy, or from perspective of planet. It could be. I mean, we do it objectively as we can, but we could still be wrong. That's the point of science. We could be wrong and accept that we could be wrong, and if we're wrong, we reform and we revise our information and look for new evidence. That's what happens. And also, I could have swear I addressed this. And these basically make the same argument twice. Life if there was life, it would be designed, it would be governed under another set of anthropic principles. Well, the thing that really makes the whole argument stand is the fact that you and everyone else who advocates and who believes this argument, I don't know how you do that, anyway, is that these constances, they're not arbitrary, they're absolutely conducive for life to be. But if there are multiple principles and different constances that affect are different in other places, regions of this galaxy or of the universe, that shows that ours are just arbitrary and we just happen to have life. If you want to attribute that to supernatural agency like a fucking child, you can do that. But you want to assert that that's science when that's not.
Now, even if we did have nations, the universe exists. The way it does.
We don't have to know other possible combinations. Any other combinations will require anthropic principles, still leaving open intelligent design. This is a god of the gaps. You're saying no matter what would have happened, no matter how much it seems that these principles that you say are solely conducive, you need a need for life, and there were other ones they would be solely conducive. But really, from there, it would show if there are multiple ways for it to happen. It's either some sort of underlying law to meeting certain conditions and life, some sort of life would arise, or that it's just something that happens. It just happens. It's a natural phenomena that happens. I don't get where we're going with here. It's not leaving anything open to intelligent design. Yeah, for anyone who wants to believe that it was designed by some sort of supernatural agency, yeah, you can openly believe that, but that's not real science. I don't give a fuck if you call it intelligent design. It's not science. Creation science wasn't science, and intelligent design isn't science. Which is why you lose every fucking court case that's not somewhere in the deep fucking south in some no one knows where, no one gives a fucking care type of town full of fundamentalist idiots who are probably racist. That's mean. You don't have to be to some southern hick in a town to be racist. But either way, these are the type of people you get convicted into thinking intelligent design is science. People poorly educated in what the scientific method is, and you put fancy words in it and try and say, look at this, look at how intricate this is, it's so beautiful, it's so cool, and that means it had to have been designed by a mind. Oh, that's just stupid. And to prove that whether or not their anthropic principles are actual grounded principles and not just arbitrary things that happen to be just like other things in the universe, just there happen to be. I mean, it's inevitable that within an expansion there would be stars, but it just happened to be stars, right? Okay, it just happen to be stars. Well, there just happen to be life. Well, or building blocks for life that eventually adapted and evolved and made somewhat intelligent life. Notice I put somewhat in front of it. Somewhat. I always hold somewhat because there's somewhat a large number of people like you who believe somewhat of the same shit that you do. And actually, I could apply this the same way. Okay, we know if we knew other combinations, first off, that proves one, that the anthropic principles that you employ that are here are strictly arbitrary, are just ones that allow for us as we know it to be alive. And then there's other ones. And then if we did, this would leave open for evolution. That things have come from one source, maybe something like we call a primordial soup or whatever, that caused for life, and the same for the laws of physics as to wherever hypothetical planet X is, made it possible for there to be some sort of multi-cell or a single-celled organism, whatever, and it made life, even if it only stayed these one single or multi-celled organism. Just it works just about the same way. It doesn't make any sense. And now let's make the same thing over again. A multiverse only multiplies the need for a designer. I don't ever remember agreeing to this. Anyway, also an infinite number of finite things cannot exist. I do remember agreeing to that. When did I ever say that an infinite number of finite things could exist? So what solid ground is he standing on? Nothing. Again with this, answering your own questions like an arrogant ass. What happened to the humbleness or the humility that was preached to by Jesus and shit? Yeah, you people just threw that shit out the window a long time ago. Either way, know what my solid ground is? You don't fucking know. And I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and follow the work and try and get involved in with, I don't know, people who are trying to know, not people who want to just sit there and stand still and go, God done it. You're not doing anything. That's not science. It's stupid. And then you assert, all I have is willful denial, which I call atheism. What? What are you talking about? You've lost your fucking mind now. This is the same thing. You just don't want to believe. No, you don't want or not want to believe something. You're convinced or not convinced. This is so fucking stupid. I'm done here. I'm just done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done here. This is... Ugh, that's done. This is done. Alright, I'm done. This is done. This whole thing is done. Whatever video responses are made, I don't care. I'm done.